Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. It's great to see you here. I'm Marcus from InfoSec Governance, and in today's video we're going to be talking about documentation. So before we get started, just a quick question for you. How many people within your business know how to do someone else's job well? What happens if someone got sick or was off work for a while, or someone left who was critical to the business? Do you know, or could someone within your business drop what they're doing, move into their role, and then get started doing what they do? Now, a lot of people that I know, looking around businesses and things like that, it'd be a case of no, they can't. There's no documentation in place. They've got to get up, they've got to get started, they've got to get up to speed and move from there. So today's video is all going to be about documentation, why you should be doing it, and pretty much if you do it, what you're going to get out of it, and go from there. Now, ensuring that people within your business have access to all the necessary information to perform anyone's job role is extremely important. By having the information to hand and readily available, you can look after your customers and also your business and keep the day-to-day running of your business tasks in order. Now, this will help you make sure that your business is successful and you also have happy customers, which is pretty much a win-win for everyone. Now, one of the worst things you want to do when someone is off is have a lack of knowledge and a gap, especially if that person is a client or a support-facing person. The last thing you want to do is have someone up and running around and trying to find the information, trying to help the person who's rang your office, or you need to do something, there's been an incident or anything like that. Last thing you want to do is just trying to find that information to get the ball rolling. Now, documentation, in my opinion, is one of the most important parts of having a successful business, and it plays a massive part when it comes to the security of your business as well. By not documenting properly and having that knowledge gap in one or more places within your business, it'll end up with, you'll pretty much end your business up with having single points of failure, possibly in one or more places, which isn't going to be great for you. Now, not only does documentation help with the processes within the business, but it also plays a big part within compliance of your business, especially around the regulation procedures as well. So, for example, if you have to deal with ISO standards, SOX, NIST, or any of those sort of things, you have to make sure that your documentation is up to scratch and in place, and people know where to look and how to do it. For example, documentational evidence needs to be in place for these things, and it plays a key part for it. So, for example, showing evidence of change control, evidence of internal audits, policies, procedures, and pretty much the list just goes on and on. Now, when you start looking at documenting your business, you should start and take a step back, have a look at your business, have a look at your business tasks and everything else that is connected within your business, especially the day-to-day operations. Now, depending upon your type of business, you may or may not need to talk to departmental heads, the support team, developers, pretty much anyone within. It's got a key role within your business. It's key that when new processes are brought into the business, or some new software feature, whatever it is that the process is, and that you should actually go through, document the process, and any support guides which are documented as well with that process. So what you're looking at to do is anything new that you bring into the business, someone is responsible to document everything, or get all the paperwork together, all the guides, all the support articles, and put it in one place so everyone has access to it to move forward. Now, additionally, if you've ever had to manage an incident, you should also ensure that any incidents you have are documented from start to finish. So you document what the incident was, what happened, what caused it, and how you resolved it. So again, if this incident happens again, which 9 times out of 10 it will happen again, you can actually go against that document that you've written, have a look, see what caused it, fix it, and then that's the incident sorted a lot quicker than what it would be troubleshooting, going from A to B to C to D, when you could have just gone straight to that document, picked it up, looked at it, and gone, yep, bang, done. Now, what you should also document as well is support contracts, contract renewals, anything that someone might need, you should look at getting documented. Anything that could make your life easier or someone else's life easier if they have to take that role on, you should document. Now, by taking a step back and looking at your business, its processes, its policies, is all fine. But how do you actually go about documenting? Now, I personally think this is one of the hardest things to do for a lot of people, especially within the business. Myself, I find that documentation comes really easy to me. It's something I surprisingly like to do. If I've got anything new or anything I'm working on, I'll document it. Because you don't want to come back to it and go, how did I do this? How does this work? How's this configured? I just want to look at something and go, oh yeah, this is all done, and bang, it's done. However, some other people absolutely hate documentation. It's like the worst thing ever they can do. What I wouldn't do is try and force documentation onto people. Speak to them, talk to them, explain why documentation is a good thing to have within the business. Tell them it's a good thing to have. There's loads of pros to it. There's next to no cons to it. It'll make their life easier during the business. If they're working in the support department, it's going to make their life easier for that. If they manage incidents, it's going to make their life easier moving forward if there's an incident. It's a win-win all the way through for having documentation. So if there's any backlash to trying to implement documentation within the business, I would just talk to them, reach out with them, and go from there. Now, when you start your documentation process, it's important to include as much information as possible. Now, if you can, I would include screenshots, web links, knowledge base articles, anything that you can, as this will go, it'll just help miles and miles of helping people understand a process or a role that they're having to work with. If you've got that big knowledge dump of information, you can go there, you can just look at it, as I keep saying, you can look at it, you've got the information there, you pull it out, you're done. If a customer rings up and you're brand new to this role or this customer, you've never heard of them before, you've never worked with them before, you can just go up, pick up their account information, have a look, see what all the recent support requests were, what information they've got, what software they have they had any incidents recently, and you can just go through and do that. Now there's many products out there on the market that can help you actually document your processes. Anything ranging from client-based applications that you just install in your computer to server or cloud-based systems, things like that. Personally, I would recommend going with more of a server version or a cloud-based version, because that's going to give you a lot more flexibility and stuff like that. Whereas a client-based one that you install on your computer, you're going to have to do that on everyone's computer, then you're going to have to sync it across, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare. So I would just stay with more of the server-based ones or the cloud-based ones, because that's just going to be a lot easier for everyone there. Now, there are a lot of different versions or a lot of different products out there. There's products from IT Glue, there's Confluence, there's SharePoint, even Teams and OneDrive and things like that can all work. But once you actually start documenting, you also have to make sure that it's in a nice, easy to read flow and stuff like that. You want to have it all categorized if you can, maybe down by from customer to product to incident or anything like that. So if someone comes in, they can have a look, they can easily find the client that they're talking to or anyone that they're talking to, go from there and drill down and go from there. But the last thing you want to do is log into your new document portal that you've got loads of information all over the place, you can't find anything, so then you have to spend 5 minutes trying to actually search it. So try and make it nice and categorized, have it nice and defined, however it works for your business, go from there. And that's pretty much it for a very quick overview of it. Documentation, as I keep saying, is a really important thing for the business. If you don't document, it's going to hurt your business, it's going to hurt your customer relationship with your customers, because you might not have that information to hand, especially if you're like an MSP or a customer facing business. You want to have all that information there and working and readily available. And that's pretty much it. If you have any documentation processes in place, I'd love to hear about it. Stick it in the comments below the video. Let everyone else know what you're doing. Does it work for you? What doesn't work for you? And go from there. So that's it. Hope you enjoy it, and see you next time.